complain and want to sleep on this Lagos. But for that bitch, beside pants, for road, in the middle of all boy, for gay, for clear, for I said, don't fall past my age. No one wants to
Beckett, spread. I bet I love you, and back. Done right. Oops, I forgot. What is your What's the party? Party, party.
Okay, so I watched Glamour Girls on Netflix on Friday. Now, prior to watching the movie, guys, I was really excited. I was super pumped up. I had been looking forward to watching the movie. I had been anticipating, of course, because of the many PRs they had done about the movie, because of the caliber of actors, you know, that were to feature in the movie. There was also the fact that this was supposed to be a remake of the original Glamour Girls that was created in 1994, if I am not mistaken. But guys, all of those factors put together, it was already heightening my expectations for the movie. I was really looking forward to seeing all the glamour, all the amazing things that was to unfold from the movie. And then I watched it on Friday, and to be very frank with you all guys, I felt absolutely nothing. Or if emptiness can make for an emotion that one could feel, that was exactly what I felt. I felt empty. I was left confused. I was left conflicted. The first thing I could tell myself was, what the actual fuck did I just watch? Guys, I felt like I had lost 2 precious hours of my life, my precious data, watching some piece of crap. Yeah, guys, it was painful, excruciatingly painful. And so I decided to give the movie a second chance. Yes, because I did not want to just go ahead and create a review without giving it a second watch. So I decided to watch it again, you know, hoping that there just might be, you know, some reverse in all of the inconsistencies that I had watched the first time. But then yet again, guys, it was just another roller coaster of disappointment, of inconsistencies, of fragmented plots, of guys, disjointed storylines, guys, God, incoherent delivery of lines. Some of the dialogues was just so painful to watch. Some of the cast members, guys, you are asking yourself, what is their relevance being in this movie? Some people were not just meant to be in the movie at all. Jesus Christ, there was just so much painful imitation of how things are done with other Western movies, guys. It was just so painful. Breathe. Breathe, Glory. Breathe. Okay. Okay, you know what, guys? I could just go on and on and on, but no, let's do it the right way. Let's take the different elements of Glamour Girls, you know, put it into better perspective and have a conversation about it, okay? And listen, I'm aware that all of you watching this video right now, you have your own opinion. Yes, so I will be looking forward to you sharing your thoughts in the comment section. Before I officially begin, let me first of all welcome all of you back to my YouTube channel. Welcome back. My name is Glory Elijah, and this is Frankly Speaking with Glory. I am the girl with the tea. If this is your first time clicking on my video to watch, thank you so much for doing so. But please do not forget to hit the red subscribe button to subscribe to this channel. It will make sure you become a part of this family. And if you always want to receive a lot of my videos, just click on the white bell button, all right? That means you're turning on post notifications to always be the first to receive a lot of my videos. All right, on this channel we give the most detailed, factual, accurate analysis of reality TV shows, movies, and trending social topics. All right, so if that is the kind of content you like on this platform, you are in the right space. That said, let's now get into the review quickly. So starting with the plot, The movie gives a shallow, I mean an extremely shallow overview of the lives of 5 women, all right? There's Emanuela, who later turned Emma in the movie. There's Louis, there's Donna, there's Gemma, and then there's Hel. Now, starting with the story of Emanuela. Emanuela is a dancer, aka a stripper, that was working in a strip club, and then having been accused of stealing a ring by one of the bodyguards of one of the clients that came to patronize them, she was fired. Yes, with a fight, of course. And then the next thing we saw was Emanuela and 2 other friends of hers going to Donna's interior decor establishment where she sells furniture as a disguise, yes, as a camouflage for the shady business that she runs, yes, in, you know, pimping girls to wealthy millionaires and billionaires for, you know, financial gains of her own and also for contracts of her own. And so Emanuela and her friends, they had gone to Donna, but then they had been ridiculed and sent out, of course, with the assistance of Donna's PA, who was quite annoying, to be very honest. I'm coming to that person. Now, whilst Emanuela's friends had left in frustration, Emanuela had stormed back into Donna's office, deciding to take the bull by the horns, you know, to challenge Donna and to prove to Donna that she was the suitable, should I say, candidate to work for Donna, right? Because she was tired of being on the streets. She was tired of selling her body for little financial gains. She was tired of sleeping around without really benefiting much from it. And of course, she wanted the connection. She wanted to belong, you know, to Donna's clique. She had stripped, not down to her panties, of course, but she had stripped, you know, to properly market her goods to Donna. And Donna had been quite impressed and had given her her card for her to stay in touch with her. So fast forward to Emanuela eventually becoming a part of Donna's clique of high-paid escorts. She was introduced to the luxury lifestyle. She eventually met Shegs, her sugar daddy, who was introduced to her, of course, by the same bodyguard who had accused her of stealing a ring at the strip club at the beginning. That's Zeribe. Yes. So it happens that 6 months later, Zeribe was now a bodyguard and working for Shegun, who is a multi-millionaire, or should I call him a billionaire? Yes, flying Emanuela on private jets. You know, they go on vacations together abroad. You know, he got her a house, her own house, with 2 butlers to serve as her helps, you know, without her having to do anything. And still talking about this 6 months later transformation, Emanuela, or now called Emma, is all bougie and whatnot. She's now more classy, wearing designer clothes, designer pieces, even her accent, guys. I don't even know if I should term it a British accent or an American accent or a Brit-American accent, but she sure did have an accent. And guys, that was the most shocking part of the transformation. And guys, it was really unbelievable. It was quite ridiculous because, to be very frank with you, if you are based in Lagos and you've come across a lot of Olosho, trust me, there are those ones that no matter how bougie they eventually become, whether 5 years later or 10 years later, you see that the original local accent that they started their life with, trust me, it's always very difficult for them to do away with it. When they speak, you still hear it in their accent. But this new Emma that we were seeing 6 months later was like a completely refurbished vehicle. Yes, from is it Totti's car to Rolls Royce. Guys, it was a completely unbelievable transformation. Yes, but that's just about it. Just a brief summary of Emanuela, or Emma's character. Now, about Donna. Donna is the mother of them all. She is the dawn of all the high-paid escorts. Yes, on the movie. She's the one that brings the connections. She's the one that does the negotiations. She's the one that pays the girls off, and she's the one that shows them the way, kind of. And it's very obvious that on that movie, there's a backstory to why this Donna is the way she is. But then, no thanks to the producers, we did not really get the details of a backstory. So what we are just seeing is someone that's very, very strict, that's almost kind of immune to love and romance, as we saw in a relationship with her toy boy husband, who is obviously way younger than her, and just some sort of piece of decoration in their marriage.
This
would be your very first lesson. Emma, show me what you got.
Go on.
Sometimes we've got to outsource. Right?
But obviously has a magnetic connection to money and power. Now, let's move on to the cast, right? We've talked about Emanuela, we've talked about Donna. Now, moving on to Lois.
Your creation? She's amazing! Love it! Yes, yes, let me more!
Lois is married with 2 kids. Her husband is a typical Nigerian Igbo man. He's very much in love with his wife, proud of his wife, right? So he is in the abroad. Apparently, it was Lois that had sent the husband abroad and was, you know, financing his stay in that abroad. Whatever he's doing there, guys, we have no freaking idea. But what we did see in the movie is that Lois has a boutique, or it's either she's a fashion designer. To be very honest, guys, that was a big flop because we were not really sure what Lois was in the movie. Was she just a mere boutique owner, or was she a fashion designer that owned a boutique where she put all of her designs, guys? It was based off what they said in the movie that caused that confusion. So that is Lois. So apparently Lois is here in Nigeria, being a paid escort, being a friend to Donna, whilst she sends money to her husband over there in the abroad. The husband is obviously very ignorant of all what she's doing over here in Nigeria. And so the kids as well have been introduced to one of our clients that's a regular with her, and then that resulted into a crazy catastrophe as the husband had returned to Nigeria unexpectedly, had caught her in the act, and had taken away their 2 kids back to America or wherever they were, and had instructed her that the only way she could see her kids was if she continued sending money for him to take care of the kids. So it seemed as though the husband was just basically jobless over there in the abroad and was relying on all the hard work that she was doing here in Nigeria. So how is a spoilt brat from a rich home, who is not just an escort but also a drug addict who has abused the use of drugs and harmful substances on numerous occasions on the movie, and then it finally led to her untimely death whilst being pregnant. And now that's Gemma. Gemma is Donna's friend. Apparently, they've come a long way together in this escort business, but along the line, Gemma had broken the rule of engagement by falling in love, you know, getting married and having a son. But along the line as well, in her marriage, her husband had fallen ill, yes, and had been put on life support for the longest time, something she could not sustain anymore. She was going through financial difficulties, had come to beg Gemma for help, but Gemma once again had told her that the only way she could help her was to come back into the escort business, which she had actually obliged after much thoughts, yes, and then had met Alexander, who had eventually turned into her lover, but she had ended up mothering for molesting her son. Let's talk about the picture quality and the cinematography. Now, mind you, I will be talking about this from the perspective of a viewer, all right? I am not a professional filmmaker. Even though I am a YouTuber that shoots and edits and does all whatnot, I am not doing this at the level of a filmmaker. So in my frank opinion, I will give the picture of this movie 100%. It is stunning. It is beautiful. I loved completely the golden tone of the picture quality, guys. It is beautiful. In my opinion, I felt like it really interpreted the different moods of the movie, different scenes, the tone, the hue, the ambience, guys. It really came out spot on. I loved it. You know, when the ladies are at sea, you know, cruising on the yacht, the beauty of the water, the beauty of the skies, guys, everything was just perfect in that regard. You know, the camera angles, it was really beautiful, well thought out. And that is one thing I must give to this Play Network Studios. Yes, I feel like when it comes to equipment, when it comes to angles, when it comes to the filming styles, the technique, They really give it their all, and I must commend them for it. But then when it comes to the nitty-gritty of their stories, guys, I'm sorry, but it always turns out to be crap. Now, moving on to the music and the sound of the movie. For the music, sometimes I loved some of the song choices they employed as background music for certain scenes, and I'm going to mention certain scenes that I really loved, the songs that they used. But on the other hand, some of the background music was just complete noise. Guys, it felt as though those scenes were empty and bereft of actual sense, and so just to add fillers and to make it seem as though it made sense, they now decided to bombard those scenes with a lot of noisy background music. They were so noisy and annoying, guys, to the point of irritation. Now, some of my favorite scenes that also doubled as my favorite scenes that utilized the perfect songs as the background music was when Ella had stormed back into Donna's office to market herself by stripping down to, you know, her underwear, just to prove that she was the suitable candidate to work as a high-paid escort for Donna, guys. That was really spot on. That moment was really touching for me. I really felt that scene. That scene made a lot of sense. And then another scene was the scene where Donna had offered Ella to her husband as a wedding anniversary and to also serve as Ella's first experience or her first job on the job, right? That scene was really intense. It was fascinating. I had never seen a scene like that in Nigerian movie, guys. So it was really fascinating to me. I loved it, and I'm like, wow, this is actually spot on. It makes a lot of sense, yes. And the music, or rather the song choice that they played at that point in time, guys, I loved it. I said, yes, this is great art. This is great work. And then other scenes that I loved, that I felt like, okay, that was great cinematic moments, and also beautiful moments where the appropriate songs were used as background music, was the love scene between Gemma and Alexander, guys. It was really spot on. I really liked the songs that played at those scenes as background music. Another scene that I really loved, that I would never forget in a hurry, was the scene where Louis's husband had landed in Nigeria and had called Louis to announce his impromptu arrival. Guys, the song that played as background music, guys, it was insane. I loved it. At that point in time, I had some level of adrenaline rush. I felt like, oh my God, some action is about to happen. And now I'm talking about the sound of the entire movie. Oh my God. The sound, it was whack. Yes, sometimes it was noisy, sometimes it was frustrating. Yes, especially when the characters, they are having conversations, they are having their dialogue or monologues or whatever it was, and it seemed as though whoever edited the movie would now choose that time to increase the volume of the background music. So the background music would now be louder than the actual conversations happening on the movie. So you are struggling to, you know, hear what is being said. It's like, oh my God, it was like a struggle for dominance between the background music and the characters in the movie. So guys, it was so frustrating. You would have to increase the volume of your TV or your gadget or whatever to a very high level for you to even catch even the littlest form of conversation. It was frustrating, guys. It was frustrating. It was as though whoever edited the movie or whoever was in charge of editing the sound or whatever, guys, I don't even know how they did it. It was as if the person was playing. The person was playing. Now, for the theme of this movie would have turned out to be a masterpiece if the producers had done just one job, if they had gone all out to ensure that they really put together a proper storyline, a proper plot that was not so disjointed, inconsistent, and fragmented, so that the multiple themes that this movie carried would have been completely understood without causing unnecessary confusion, guys, because there were so many underlying themes in this movie, which I'm going to mention shortly, but too much orishi-rishi, too much jedi-jedi, too much, you know, hurry, or should I say haste, to go ahead and display luxury, you know, display the glamour part, the glamorous part of the movie. It completely dampened and ended up burying the multiple sensible themes that would have made this movie shine. Now, as we clearly saw, there was the theme of societal moral decadence in so many forms. Yes, how the rich make their money through dubious ways, how women, all in a bid to jump on the fast lane of the glamorous lifestyle, they sell their bodies for monetary gains. You know, there's a theme of child abuse, there's a theme of drug abuse, there's a theme of infidelity in marriage, adultery in marriage, there's the theme of greed, there's the theme of selfishness. Yes, selfishness as displayed by Zeribe, the bodyguard who quite weirdly was looking for a way to get back at Emma, which did not make sense, because what we saw in the movie was that those two people eventually fell in love right under the nose of Chief Sheggs. Yes, guys, and then at the end we saw that, oh, there was a plot twist which was quite ridiculous, a very, very stupid plot twist, that, oh, all of a sudden Zeribe was looking for how to frame Emma just to get his own pound of flesh, which was once again stupid.
You're not going to find anything. It's a trick, a setup. No, we don't recognize.
I mean, a very, very strong and resounding message that would have emanated from the movie was the theme of child abuse if the producers had given more time to that particular scene where Gemma had actually caught Alexander probably molesting her son. Because to be very honest with you guys, we did not really know exactly what happened. We had seen Alexander to be a perfect gentleman, you know, a perfect lover, a perfect friend, that one person that has stayed true to loving and cherishing and taking care of Gemma and her son, regardless of the fact that she had a husband that was lying in coma, you know, under life support in the hospital. We had seen how for 6 months he had stayed true to Gemma. What we did not know was how and why and even when he was molesting Gemma's son, Essie. So it did not make sense at all. Nothing added up at all. It felt like they just wanted to create that plot twist on such a beautiful and glorified character just to give the viewers, you know, a moment of shock, like, oh my God, so this person is like this. And it did not make sense because there was no inclination whatsoever in the entire movie that Alexander had the tendency to be an homosexual pedophile.
He told him, he said anything, he was gonna kill me. So Esther wouldn't say anything. He was protecting me.
Just when we were thinking that there was going to be a moment of revelation from Alexander himself, probably a dialogue between Alexander and Gemma, just for us to just have a hint to the backstory of why, how, when, you know, just to answer some of the questions we had, bam, Gemma don't kill Alexander with spoon. God, you know, watching that movie, guys, these people just made me feel like I don't have sense. It just made us feel like we don't have sense. Or probably they felt like we might not have the mental capacity to comprehend if they even tried or even put in an effort to make some of these things make sense. In the same breath, I also felt that the theme of drug abuse could have really stood out and probably left a strong message if in the midst of all of those hells, many monologues and many craziness and unnecessary madness on the movie, if she had at least taken one scene to give a bit of a backstory as to why she even decided to go into drugs and even decided to go into prostitution, you know, regardless of the fact that she's from a wealthy home, right? I just felt like the producers kind of made us, you know, go into a series of assumptions about all of these things, like, oh, and they've probably seen a lot of movies already, so by now they should know that this is the reason why some people do the things they do. No! We should not be left assuming. or even speculating. I mean, guys, it did not even make sense that, oh, somebody as wealthy as that, you know, is into prostitution, and then she's doing drugs, and then she got pregnant, and then she died. Guys, hey, God. Another case of a fragmented plot. And oh, before I forget, that was also the scene of Louis's husband catching her red-handed in her boutique at night with a machete.
Okay, you go shift your money today. Abba, wait, come on. Okay, you go shift your money.
He had grown curious as to why his wife was always leaving the house late at night to go to the shop to go and do what? So he had gone to the shop to go and meet her and had caught her in the middle of something. Whatever it was, guys, we did not really have the full picture of whatever it was. What we saw was a guy threatening fire and brimstone, which he acted out perfectly, in my opinion. And then he opened the door and he saw something. Whatever he saw, guys, we do not know what he saw. The next thing we noticed, we knew about that particular couple was that the guy had taken the two kids that they have and had relocated back to the abroad with strict instructions that Lois was to continue sending family support to the family abroad, and they were done with the marriage. Guys, it would have made a lot of sense if we at least knew, or even if we at least had been hinted, you know, about what that man had seen, but it did not make sense. Now, I would have given the producers the benefit of doubt that, okay, maybe that was a good attempt at, you know, causing some level of suspense, leaving it to the imagination of us, the viewers, to think and to visualize whatever Lois's husband, Aaron, had actually seen in that room. Yes. However, it was shabbily done. It was so recklessly and shabbily done. It seemed as though it was a forgotten mistake that they made on that movie, and they just felt like, you know what, let's just pass. We don't shoot finish, more just leave and they go. It was so shabby. It was shabby. And that was the other scene again that what's his name, Shags, that's Emma's sugar daddy, had actually ridiculed her for being an ex-stripper in a strip club, yes, and she had got upset. She had gone to her room, and then conversation she had with Ziribe, the bodyguard, they had actually started having sex in her room, and then it turns out that all of her noise, all of her moanings was so loud that Shags had heard the noise from downstairs, and so the scene we saw, he was standing on the staircase and he was staring at the door, meaning that he had caught them red-handed. Guys, from all that we had seen on the movie from the start, it was very obvious that Shags is a powerful man in the movie. He's very powerful, he's fearful, he has the right connection. If he wants to eliminate somebody, nothing will stop him from doing it. But guys, we were all waiting with bated breath that, oh my God, is this man going to kill Emma? What is he going to do? Is he going to throw her out of the house? Is he going to punish her? What exactly is going to be our punishment for such level of betrayal, guys? But guess what? Oga Shege vex finished. Like, he got angry, went downstairs, and that was the end of that matter. We did not hear or even see anything again. You know, according to my friend and I, we're laughing that, maybe they finished shooting the entire movie and then they forgot to shoot the repercussion or the reaction of Uncle Shege, you know? So maybe they forgot. And by the time they released the movie, they now remember that, we did not shoot a reaction, oh, guys. And then at the end, we now saw Shags telling Emma, let's go. And Emma saying she doesn't want to go. And guys, you know the worst of it all? The worst is, even after Shags caught Emma, you know, screwing Ziribe in her room, still in Shags' house, Emma was still living there with the bodyguard. They were sharing the same bed together. Play Network Studios have finished me, Mogbe. And there was also the scene where Donna had fled to Lebanon to seek asylum from all of the madness that she had gotten herself into, right? And she had gone to go and meet the original Glamour girls, the original Donna herself, the 1994 Glamour girls, to beg for assistance. And guys, that conversation they had, you know, where they were telling her, you will wait, we'll think about it. Here I was thinking that they were going to show us another scene when maybe finally they give her their feedback. Oh, it's either they say, we're not going to help you, face your consequences yourself, or they decide that, okay, fine, they're going to eventually help. But guys, nada. We didn't see nothing. At that point in time, I say, once again, they don't forget to act down. They forgot. Or they probably decided that, okay, oh, we don't rate you people, the viewers, so F you all. Guys, honestly, I was embarrassed on their behalf. I was embarrassed because I was like, so what was the point of showing that scene? That scene had no freaking relevance at all. At all. That scene had no relevance. If they had shown that scene at the beginning in a different context, you know, maybe they wanted to show us the source of donors' powers, or the source of donors' connection, or the source of donors' backings. If they had shown us that scene, it would have made a lot of sense. But showing that scene in that context towards the end, Jesus. And that was the end part of the movie, where there was a lot of crazy drama that unfolded, guys. A lot of confusing and disjointed, you know, plot twists that was just unfolding. Because in my opinion, all of those plot twists, none of them made sense at all. Number one.
Now, we know
What's the party? Party.
Zeribe turned out to want to frame Emma. Yes, Emma, whom he was giving us the impression that both of them were in love. Yes, and they had even planned on that very night to abscond with a particular amount of the money, you know, to an unknown country where nobody will find them. But then it turns out that Zeribe only wanted his own pound of flesh for the embarrassment that Emma caused him months back. Guys, that was so ridiculous to even believe or even understand. And then there was the, you know, the very, very pertinent question of where did, what's her name, Donna, come about that extra flash drive? Where and how? Guys, it did not make sense at all, because from what we saw on that table in that scene, there was only 2 flash drives available. One was empty, one was filled with the details of the money. So Zeribe had taken the one that had the money and had wanted to frame Emma. Emma had immediately put it back in his suit pocket. The other flash drive that was empty was the one that, what's her name now, Donna, had given to Chief, and Chief's PA or whoever had checked and confirmed that it was empty. And then finally, they had given the original flash drive to Chief. Please, people of God, when, how, where, when, what, how did Donna find time to immediately copy at least $10 billion into the extra flash drive that she removed from her wig? Please, if somebody can answer that question, I will give you something. Because it did not make sense. It was senseless. It was a dumb move at creating the ultimate plot twist of the movie that ended up making the movie to look like a joke. Period. Now, one scene that would have probably made a lot of sense in the entire movie was where Donna and her PA, Tommy, was gifting Chief's wife the couch that they had used to put Alex's body. Guys, to be very frank with you, I was thinking and even hoping that inside that couch would still remain Alex's body to use it to frame Chief's wife. But guys, guess what? The body was gone. They now replaced it with money, and they still gave the money to the Chief's wife. I said that was just completely rubbish. Rubbish! I mean, that was a huge opportunity for Donna to get her own pound of flesh, you know, from whatever scuffle or whatever beef she had with Chief's wife. But then she ended up being played. I mean, the almighty Donna that posed to be the smartest, the most intelligent, the most powerful woman on the movie, they made her look so small, so weak. And it was just, it was ridiculous. Now, finally, let's talk about some of the irrelevant characters that they decided to pepper our eyes with on this movie, because in my opinion, they were just completely irrelevant. They had no value really to the movie, in my frank opinion. Now, I'm going to start with Dumas' PA.
You look gorgeous as ever. You've grown so much, Tommy. Or she left you on this street.
Guys, to be very frank with you, every time I watched Tommy, I just saw a very, very poor and embarrassing imitation of most of these Netflix characters that wants to portray the LGBTQ community. No beef to the LGBTQ community, no offense to them, but as I said, that was a very, very poor and embarrassing imitation of that community. What was all of that? Guys, I'm like, what the hell? What the hell? And another annoying part was Tommy was not even able to open his mouth and speak on so many scenes. He go there talk, you will not hear what he's saying. It's as if he's whispering. It's as if he doesn't even know what to say. It's as if he's forgetting his lines. Guys, I don't even know what was going on. But Tommy was just an unhot mess. Another person was that lady that, you know, came down the stairs in Dumas' girl's house to come and welcome Tommy when he brought, what's her name now, Emma, to come and start living with the girls. That one just came from upstairs and was showing Bom Bom and was showing Bom Bom. And every time they had an outing, her work was to showcase a goose, you know, show Bom Bom, show boobs, you know, turn around. Guys, I mean, all of that is a welcome aesthetic to the movie. It's a welcome element to prove to us that indeed, though, these girls are oloshos, these girls are high-paid escorts. But please, oh, was she deaf and dumb in that movie? At least the producers could have given her one line at least to say a word. Let's even hear her voice. Let's even hear her speak. But she didn't even say "bam." She didn't even say anything. The only thing we're seeing was Bom Bom and boobs. I'm like, come on. Come on, you cannot reduce a character to zero. They made her seem like she was a main character, give her main character energy, but then at the end of the day, she turned out to be an extremely minute and minor character. And then last but not the least, before I forget, hey God, oh, the scene when Lois was having phone sex conversations with her husband whilst he was abroad.
Darling, I want to sleep now. Catch your mouth. It was so song.
Guys, that scene was an eyesore. That scene was an eyesore. It was painful to watch. See, this is the first thing I thought. Number one, I felt like, okay, they probably filmed or shot the two people's conversation at different times. Yes, Aaron, they shot his own scene probably differently, and then they shot Louis's own scene probably differently, and then they edited and merged it together to make it make sense. But guys, it turned out to be a huge flop. You know why? Because all of Louis's facial expressions, guys, oh my God, it felt so emotionless. You know what? Final thoughts on this movie, Glamour Girls on Netflix. The movie had every potential to be great. Yes, it had all the elements to be great. But as usual, just as they did with Living in Bondage, just as they did with Nick and the Pretty Serpent guys, yes, it was very obvious that they were in such a hurry to skip all the plenty plots, the storylines, the backstories, the front stories, everything, and then just jump into the full display of luxury, of glamour. And guys, to be very honest, every time Play Network Studios does this, I feel it's an insult to us, the viewers' intelligence. I feel like they do not rate us. I feel like they see us as people that just wants to see glamour and that's it. Honestly, I feel like it's an insult. It's like you don't rate your viewers at all. It's like you feel like your viewers do not probably have the mental capacity to understand a well put together movie. Come on, Nigerian movie producers, they need to understand that we've gone past the level of you know, watching movies that are empty, you know, movies that have a very, very high budget to display luxury, and then the meaning of the movie, the content of the movie is completely empty. It's bereft of sense. This movie, Glamour Girls, honestly, all the sense that they should have put in the movie, guys, I felt like they just skip, and then they rushed into showing the glamorous part of the movie, which just made it very, very empty. Hey, this is not to say that we will not give accolades to people that actually deserve it. I'm talking about the likes of Nse Ikpe that played the role of Donna, Sharon that played the role of Emma, there's Zeribe that, I don't know his real name, but there's Zeribe. There's also Joselyn Dumas that played the role of Gemma. There's what's his name now, the person that played the role of Chief. There's also the person that played the role of Hell. I don't really know her name, guys. You see, people like that, they really did great. They really interpreted their roles to perfection, and I enjoyed watching them, you know, act in the movie. However, for the likes of Nse, I must say this. She needs to be very careful not to box herself in one particular character role. You see this role she played in this movie, Glamour Girls. She played the same role in King of Boys. And now she has played it again in Glamour Girls. And there's another movie that I have been seeing and hearing whispers about that she's playing this exact role again. Now, the thing about the Nigerian audience is people are going to get bored. People are going to get tired. And people are going to start saying that she is not a versatile actor or actress, whichever one. And guys, to be very honest, there might be a hint of truth in it, because people want to be able to define a great actor by their ability to be able to take on any role, interpret it to perfection, you know, and do it, you know, effortlessly, flawlessly. You know, so now Nse Ikpe, she's, you know, playing this role of the powerful, strong monarch, the powerful, strong female Amazon, and it's great. I mean, it's really, really, you know, putting her on the map, you know, to be that one Margaret Thatcher actress in Nigeria. I mean, it makes a lot of sense, and I love her completely. However, I would love to see the dynamics in her acting skills. I would love to see her playing other roles in other kind of, you know, modern movies. I've seen her play, you know, different roles in previous movies before, but now she has evolved. She's no longer the same actor that we used to know. So I would love to, you know, moving forward, see her being versatile, playing versatile roles in more movies to come. For Sharon, oh my God, if there's another word that's bigger than impressed, guys, that's the word. I was impressed. She played the role of Emanuela turned Emma to perfection. I have nothing else to say. And it goes to show that she has really evolved in her acting. She has really evolved perfectly. If there's any mistakes that she made in this particular movie, it's the mistakes of the producers, the mistakes of the scriptwriter, the mistakes of the director. But for her own job of interpreting the role of Emanuela and Emma, she did it to perfection. So for every other person that I did not mention that they actually did great with interpreting the roles of their characters, guys, in my opinion, they were just forcing the acting. They were forgetting their lines. They were overdoing their expressions. It was horrible to watch. So this is where I'm going to end this video. I know that a lot of you might not agree with me. I know that a lot of you watching this video right now, you have your own opinion. It's all well and good. Please go ahead and share with me in the comment section below. And I will see you guys on another episode of Frankly Speaking with Gloria Elijah. Have an amazing day. Bye.